on my health and, my weight goals and my fitness goals and my lifestyle goals and things like that. I've had some success, in the past with, watching with adding those things into my lifestyle that I feel was missing. And, they have become, beneficial to me, in forms of, improving my health, improving my breathing, improving most, my living situation overall. I already showed you guys that I had a juicer that I got off Amazon. I'm gonna put that in the link because I think that juicing is one of the most underrated means of finding, nutrition, in your life. Um, when I got my juicer, I was just so overwhelmed and I was so excited, but also a little confused and perplexed about, about using it and the benefits of using it. Um, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not, a typical way of, finding nutrition. But it is the most power packed way to find nutrition. This morning I made an apple and carrots juice drink, and I feel absolutely amazing. It helps with appetite control. It helps with getting that blast of nutrition that you need, just to give you the energy and the motivation that, for whatever you're taking on in that day, either going to work or, cleaning your house, which is something that I had to do. And basically just taking care of yourself and your overall well-being and feeling better about yourself. Um, One of the most important things in life to me, I think, is how you feel, while you're taking on new endeavors. And when you're taking on new endeavors, you don't want to take on those endeavors that are going to beat you down. You don't want to take on those endeavors that are going to cause you to doubt yourself. But you want to take on those endeavors that are gradually going to give you the success and the gratitude that you need, in order to keep going. In order to keep going with what you're doing, in order to make you feel like you're in control of what you consume and what you buy and what you're doing to yourself. You're not taking, there are so many diet pills and so many weight loss solutions on the market. And that's great. And some of them do work, and they do work in conjunction with what you're doing with your diet. So, for me, I decided not to take the weight loss pills because I don't like taking pills. And 9 out of 10 times, they're so demanding, and they're so demanding of a schedule that I couldn't do it. If I miss taking one, then to me that means that it's going to interfere with my metabolism. But I know that if I eat right and I incorporate a supplement into my diet, then I won't have to worry about, missing a pill or missing, that extra added, push that I need, to metabolize fat and to lose weight. But one of the things that I do is I started juicing, with vegetables and fruits and things like that. And it's so beneficial. I've had so much fun with it. And, I don't think I'll ever go back, so I started juicing vegetables. I did like I said, a carrot apple juice drink today. And it's just, it has given me the energy and the motivation that I need in order to stay focused on my goals. And, and it gives me that, extra added appetite suppressant. It's not a planned appetite suppressant. It's an appetite suppressant that I think happens when we naturally consume vegetables. But because it's juiced and because it's, so power packed and compressed, it is just, it does wonders for, your appetite and appetite control. And I love it. I love, the way that it makes me feel. I love how it helps me feel better. I love how it helps me feel in control of what I'm eating and how I'm eating. As a part of my weight loss journey, that's definitely something that I'll be incorporating. And hopefully, You know, I'll show you how I make them. I'll show you my juice, or I'll show you different fruits and vegetables that I juice, and I get all the nutrients out of it, and I drink it, and I just feel better. So hopefully along down the line, I'll be able to to show that to you. Like I said, if I find people that are interested in seeing my progress, hopefully hopefully people will be impressed by the success that I've had, and the success that I've had in achieving my goals, and starting a nutrition plan that actually worked, within bounds, that's reasonable and achievable. Because we all think to ourselves, I wish I had more carrots, I wish that I was eating more broccoli, more spinach, and things like that. And the best way to incorporate those things into your diet is by getting a juicer, or getting a blender that will pulverize those fruits and vegetables, and give you the nutrition that you need. And it is a all natural appetite suppressant. And one of the big things about people who overeaters like me, is that we never got to get to that point where we feel full. I never got to the point that I felt satisfied with what I was eating, until I started juicing. And I'm like, okay, this is what carrots are supposed to do. This is what broccoli is supposed to do. This is what celery is supposed to do. And then you can always bump it up by turning it into a smoothie. Get a couple of bananas, get some frozen fruit, and throw it in the blender, and make yourself a meal replacement. You don't have to do things that are you don't have to do things that you feel are not within your reach. I think one of the most powerful things for me that I did, during my weight loss goals, was to do things that were within my reach. Getting a juicer was within my reach. Buying fruits and vegetables, I buy those constantly, but having to stand at the stove just for nutrition's sake, that can be taxing, that can be boring, and sometimes, and it can affect how you feel about eating fruits and vegetables, because some of us I love broccoli and garlic and butter sauce and things like that, and it goes well with different meats and everything. So but when I feel I don't want to stand at the stove and cook an entire meal just because I want to stay healthy, I can grab my juicer, juice a cup of broccoli with some apples and some mangoes and some strawberries, and just feel totally excellent about it. And just feel really good about myself, feeling like I've done something for myself. Because one of the things that is important while you're on any journey is for you to feel good about yourself at any size. But not just having to go out, because for me, I'm being honest, shopping became depressing. To go shopping and to stand in front of a mirror and say, this is not how I want to look when I'm picking out clothes. And for some of us, it's a personal journey. I can't say that I haven't been, seduced by fashion magazines and things like that. But, some of us like the seduction. Some of us like, the advertising. And I say to each his own. But for a person like me, who enjoys looking at pictures of what I perceive, as a healthy person, until I realize, that they're not, then I enjoy looking at images of people who are living healthy lifestyles. And one of the perceptions for me of a healthy lifestyle is not being overweight. It's not, having to deal with the circumstances of being overweight, which are some serious health issues. And I've decided to take it on, and I enjoy looking at those pictures because they're motivational, and I enjoy listening to people who have overcome health issues, like myself, with breathing and being chubby and things like that. and how, how now I know it's accessible. I know that healthier options are accessible. And even though they're accessible, now I know what to do with them. And I know what I would like to do with them. And I know what I would like to, and how I would like to incorporate them into my diet. And I've had so much success. And, I'm not just telling you this because, this is some form of propaganda or something like that. I haven't joined any online clubs, or I haven't joined any, I have used one thing. And I'll see if I can upload. I did use an app. I used an app. So basically, I think one of the first things I started to do is I started to categorize what I ate. Not just write it down, but categorize, and have this app count the calories for me. And this app basically, it showed me, what is a typical caloric intake. And not just a typical caloric intake. It calculated my sugars, it calculated the protein, the carbohydrates, the fibers, the monounsaturated fats, healthy fats, bad fats, and things like that. And the app is called Lose It. I found it at the App Store. And it is just one of the most helpful apps that I found, at the App Store. I mean, there are a lot of apps out there, and, there's some really popular ones, but find one and stick with it, whether it seems difficult or not, whether it seems overwhelming or not. Just take one day in an app, and like I said, my favorite app is called Lose It, LOSEIT, and it has an exclamation point at the end. And on those days where I felt that I couldn't go on, I would just say, you know what? Let me just go in and write down let me just type in what I ate. Let me just have this app calculate my caloric intake, whether it was over or under, and then move on from there. After it, it makes it allows you to take notes. It rewards you with badges, which is just great. You get to log in, and the more you log in, the more rewards you get. The more points you get. And it's mostly, a lot of people, don't understand what the intrinsic value of reward is. And it is rewarding for somebody to say, you did good today. You've logged in all week. You're a certain amount of calories, under, and, go weigh yourself. Go see your success. And that's how I use it. And that's why I continued, because I kept seeing the success of watching my caloric intake, and not just my caloric intake, but my intake of fibers and fats and sugars and things like that. And I said to myself, sugar isn't everything. And, so how is it possible that I'm going to be able to control my sugar intake? Well, sugar isn't everything, but there are natural sugars that your body loves, that your body metabolizes, it turns it into energy, and it allows you to stay motivated to exercise, and it allows you to stay motivated to watch what you eat. And that's the biggest thing. It's because the more you're motivated, the more you have incentives like that, and the more you reach that perfect goal of going out and buying, that wardrobe that you want, because it's the right size, and it makes you look like you. I think we all have a mental picture of how we want to look. I think we all have a mental picture of how we want to feel, and a lot of people think that that's delusion. It's not. Like I said, I have an equivalent of an associate degree in psychology, and those images are how you view yourself, is how you perceive yourself. And the more you set those goals to see yourself at that perfect weight, at that perfect time in life, you're gonna get there, because you'll find something that's inside of you. If you put in the work, if you put in the labor, if you truly are dedicated to yourself and those goals, you will achieve them. They are achievable, and that's just some of the success that I've seen in my life. And I've gotten to a point where I wanted to give up. I've had some tragedies happen to me in my life. I lost both of my parents, and You know, that can affect your motivation as well. That can affect how you feel about yourself. It can affect how you see yourself. It can affect your behavior. It can affect the next step that you take in your journey, you know, to a healthy weight, to a healthy lifestyle. So if you are documenting what you do, if you're writing down what you do, if you are happy and you're making the positive taking the positive incentives that you receive, then it does become achievable. And when you see yourself achieving it, it's the most exciting thing in the world. Um, but the process, yes, can be a little grueling because we want to get there. We want to get to the finish line. We want to get to the finish line before we make it. We just want to be there. But part of the journey is so that you have something to you have something to lean. You have something to rely on to make sure that you don't backslide, or that you don't take a step back into old behaviors and bad habits and things like that. So, like I said, I downloaded an app at the app store. It's called Lose It. And I have been using this app for like 5 years now. And, and I haven't been 280 pounds in 5 years. Um, excuse me. I haven't been near 280 pounds. And like I said, my goal, my weight now, I have to get a scale, because I was told that sometimes you have to avoid scales because you don't want to see yourself. I mean, if I measured every 2 pounds that I lose, I would go crazy, and I would be too excited, and I would like, oh, I can go eat, because that's how my mind works. That's how I am. I used to gratify myself with food. I used to eat, to celebrate. I used to eat to be happy. So I think that this year, 2022, I'm going to commit to a scale, a good scale. There are a bunch of them out there, and when I do get one, I'll definitely, make a video, and so that I can monitor, my success as far as body mass goes, as far as fat goes, as far as my health goes, because it's easy to lose weight. People starve themselves and lose weight all the time, but I want to get to a healthy, I want to get to a healthy point in my life. I want to get to a healthy lifestyle where the choices that I make are not based on impulse, but based on, the true desire to eat, healthy, good food. Because sometimes we go to the grocery store and we're impulsive. We want to grab shit that we think it's wonderful. We want to grab shit and we think we're going to eat it. And then you realize that while you're adding these things to your food, you're adding calories and things like that. And I think that people should be able to eat and be happy. I mean, we all know that cake has a lot of calories in it, but I want to get to that point where I don't want that cake every day. I don't want the cake every day. I don't want the cake, the next day and the next day and the next day, because that's what used to make me happy are those kind of sugars. I want to be able to earn that piece of cake. I want to be able to earn that piece of pie and that ice cream. And I want to know that it's just, I want to know that it's a special part of the meal called dessert. And you don't always have to eat dessert. I mean, dessert could be, a milkshake, but not a milkshake every day. A dessert can be, there's so many different types of desserts out there, but you want to take that time to know that it's high in calories. You want to take that time to know that, this is one moment in I would say 30 days that I would eat a high, because most cakes, they're 1500 calories. A brownie is, I think, 596 calories. Potato chips are 360 calories for one bag. And I mean, to me, that's a meal. So you want to, you have to, ask yourself, do I want this piece of cake to ruin an entire day for me? And not just that day, but the next day and the next day after that. It all depends on, how impulsive you are. And it all depends on how disciplined you are, while you're eating. So, and also another thing too is, and another thing is about is my my hair care journey. Like I said, I let it out today. I let my hair out today, as you can see, and it's really dry. To me, it's dry. So in the next couple of days, I'm gonna be looking out for going shopping for some hair conditioners and things like that that aid in moisture and repair. And hopefully, I'll have some success. It's This is the one thing I'm not sure about. I'm sure about everything else in my life except my hair, because I think it has, when I was younger, I was proud of it because it was shiny and it was curly and it was, it had body and it was that type of hair. When you're young, you have that type of hair. You can do anything in the world you want to it and it's going to bounce back. But when you get older, your body loses keratin, it loses protein, it loses the ability to hold certain moistures and things like that. And that's one of the things that I want to start to put back into my life, and hopefully, to be able to restore, the texture of my hair, and to be able to turn it, into, is it called a coif that I could be proud of. Like I said, I will go to the salon often, and I was proud of those hairstyles because they were treated with some of the best, shampoos and conditioners and styling treatments that there were. But just recently, a lot of those salon products became available to the public. So that's another thing. And then then we begin to realize there's some with the how different our hair texture is and the quality of our hair. I know that there's some products that I can use, and I know that there are some products I can't use. So I'd rather be informed other than give in to fads and things like that. So that's one of the things that I hope to preview on my platform is the condition of my hair and how it's changing, and how it's how I would love to just grow it out and get it back to the texture and the condition that I liked having when I was younger. I mean, the curls are kind of dry, and this is after putting product in it. I put product in it a couple of hours ago, and it's dry and it's probably dry because my hair needed it. I mean, it just sucks it right up. Because I'm learning about products now, products that do aid in moisture retention, that products that do aid in restructuring of the hair and preventing breakage and things like that. Because like I said, when you're young, I didn't think about that, and my hair would grow back constantly. I never had those issues when I was younger. But now that I'm older, there's something else to add to the bucket list, I guess. But again, this is just me, of course, sharing my adventures in life, and just to share my New Year's, resolution platform, and and to keep myself motivated, and to keep somebody else out there motivated who might be on the same journey, and that I might be saying something that they never thought of. Like I said, you can go to the app store and look at a lot of apps that help in weight loss, but the best one for me, like I said, was Lose It. And I'm kind of new to technology and YouTube technology, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can put the suggestion down in the link and see if you guys can get it, because like I said, I love it. And even if you're young, to understand calories and to understand proteins and sugars and to understand your metabolism, how it works, what it easily processes, and what it converts to energy. It's exciting to me because, like I said, this type of information was not privy to us. We always had to guess, and like I said, I'm sure there are some methods out there that are effective, but I don't want to go under the knife. I don't want to do that. I want to do, I want to see my own life take shape, in the form of healthy decisions. So again, I'm going to say it takes 30 days to break a bad habit. It also takes 30 days to learn a new and more positive behavior. Peace.